Hi, we're here tonight with Blanka Lasić of Mindist, and we're talking about feedback and feedback culture and incorporating feedback into your entire workplace. You've just spoken with our group of people who was here this evening. It can be negative if need be, but of course
I'm not going to
positive.
start with negative feedback.
Give us a little feedback on this tonight's event and how you felt giving the presentation.
Well, I will start with giving feedback when we first met. Because after that prep meeting, how this event is going to be organized, what are we going to talk about, I was really totally fulfilled and inspired because not so many times I'm in opportunity to really have the conversations with people that you're synced with, that like think in a deeper and wider level. And of course you have like beautiful space here. I want to live here.
It is a nice place to live and work.
Yeah. Actually you behave like that. Like this is work and living system, true living system. Congrats.
So actually that leads to a question I wanted to ask you about. You spoke a little bit in your presentation about feedback and how leadership and feedback are tied together. And you talked about natural leaders. Is that completely a natural thing? Is there an inborn sort of leadership quality that says I can handle feedback, I can give feedback, or is it something that can really be learned?
When we talk about leadership, I have to say that of course you can upgrade skills of leadership in some person, but I really I have strong belief that it's a humanity part. We are born with honesty, we are born with openness, we are born with the possibility to be kind, and we are born with that need to be with other people and to grow with them, to socialize with them, and to be happy and satisfied. And regarding the feedback part, of course, some parts of it need to be like in the form of skill. You just have to, throughout your experience and your education and development, it has to be like upgraded, and at some point you really are highly skilled in giving and of course receiving feedback. That's also important, but it's not just the skill part.
So you talked about, you mentioned a couple of words there that I wanted to go back to. In terms of leadership, you said honesty and openness, and those are, I think, keys, if I'm correct, if I understand things correctly, in giving feedback. And we all know this. What are our hang-ups? How come people have so much trouble with giving honest and open feedback?
Well, that's really a great and hard question as well. In my experience, what my clients and people that I live and work with tell me that it's always like that a feeling inside of them that it's fake when they are receiving feedback, that something is wrong on an energy and emotional level, or during the when they think about that purpose, like they're confused. Like, okay, I had a nice chat with my superior, with my partner, with my friend, but I'm not sure exactly what's the point? What do I have to change? Is this okay or it's not okay? And if not okay, what exactly do I have to do? And on the third level, it is really important for us when we receive feedback not to go ahead and ask for the explanation immediately. We have to train ourselves as well regarding in a process of self-reflection, let's say. What could that be? And I believe that answer that we come up to, okay, what was this for? What's going on now? And the answer that you received, for me, it's much more valid than going around and asking people, was that this, or was that my behavior, or was that my skill, or was that my mood, or whatever. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So when you receive feedback, processing it.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's a big part of the of the skill, if you will.
Yeah.
So, are there good sort of methods for processing? Is it reflection? How do you sort of it, or should it be structured, or should it just kind of happen?
Well, I'm leaving that up to people to realize what's good for them. But there is one thing that I was training, or maybe the best word is untraining myself to do. Like when I received feedback, I was okay with the situation that I'm receiving feedback, but I always wanted immediately, if I was confused, immediately to know, oh, is that it? Was that situation when we were on a meeting? And that is, I felt that afterwards that's wrong, because I received another feedback and then I was like, again, confused, or maybe frustrated, or maybe sad, or whatever, and it's like whole bunch of information and emotions, and still I'm not there on the real track. So I started, when I received feedback, I started to think about it and entering the process, just to think about it without that goal. I need to know, I need to solve this has to be done tomorrow, because in realistic world, if someone tells you you're not so good in, I don't know, leading meeting, even if you receive everything you need to have, resources, tools, skills, knowledge, whatever, still you're not going to be better tomorrow. Like it's something, it's process, it's something in small steps and small winnings, and we just have to learn sometimes to let go, and things will happen.
So that's interesting. You talked about two things there that I wanted to go back and unpack a little bit. One, about the purpose of feedback. So do you find that in your interactions with the different companies that you work with and the different businesses that you interact with on a regular basis, is that part of the problem? Do people really understand the purpose of feedback, or are they misunderstanding it? Or how do folks who give feedback better understand the purpose?
When I train them, like in training format regarding the feedback structure and everything, we always have this part when I'm really pushing them, sometimes more hard or not that hard, but I'm pushing them to get out of that comfort zone and to really think about why are they doing this, why are they providing feedback, especially to that one person. Is that feedback in the backstage has the quest to solve their issue, or is that feedback regarding the whole team, or is that feedback regarding the specific goal or project that we are handling? Because it's not always the same thing, and it's not always the same people, and it's not always the same context and surrounding, and that is why the purpose is really needed. And one of the simplest ways is to a little bit prepare yourself, like before entering and giving someone feedback. Just ask yourself, okay, after this feedback, what am I expecting? What do I want? What do I want after this? What needs to be done? What needs to what that person needs to feel, do, and always have in mind to keep people in resourceful way, not to like kill them, even when we talk about negative feedback, which is totally natural and normal. Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of the time people get prepared and sometimes build up a lot of anxiety and worry a little bit about receiving feedback, but it sounds like preparing to give feedback is just as, if not more important.
Yeah.
So what are some techniques that people use? I understand now you say what is the purpose of the feedback, having a goal in mind. What are some techniques that people use to sort of get that, to figure that out before they give feedback?
I try to connect with people on really simple simple level. So there are many techniques, but the one that I'm usually advising people to do is just to lay back, take some time, put some post-its on the wall with the names of your team members. On the other wall, put the purpose of your work, of your collaboration. On the third wall, put the goal that you have to achieve together, and take into consideration how are they inside the team, how they act like individuals, like what's their individual potential, who are they on individual level, and of course then consider what's going on, how much potential of their individual level is involving inside the team for everybody like that. And then put that in correlation of your team purpose, of your strategy, or of your goal. Because when we think about techniques a lot and methodologies a lot, we put ourselves in that state of mind that something has to be like answered immediately, or it's like recipe, and if you don't do that exact step, something bad is going to happen, like you're gonna have a bad cake. And when you like liberate yourself a little bit and just act as a human being that is inside that living system, with other human beings inside that living system, and of course take responsibility and accountability that you are the leader, manager, or whatever your function is, and just prepare on that human level in correlation with business. I'm a facilitator as well, and I really love using paper, pen, scissors, post-its, because it's something creative, and we really need to get out of that over-structured steps, this and that way, and like dig deeper inside of us. Yeah.
I really like that. I like to connect with paper and with pen and with scissors, and really make things. So yeah, that resonates with me in particular. I wanted to also ask you about giving feedback going up the org chart.
Okay.
Ways you can deliver feedback to folks who may be, not always expecting to hear it from you. Do you have any sort of experiences where you've said, this is a nice way to work your way into it? It sounds like you're saying that more casual interactions lead to good feedback anyway. Is that the approach that people should take, or a semi-structured approach for giving feedback to their superiors?
Well, I would really be lousy in my work if I didn't mention you have to consider the organizational culture in consideration. Like, where are you now? What's your organizational culture? Is it okay to go upstairs and give your superiors feedback about something? Because there are lots of traditional organizations, and that's not the way you do things in traditional organizations. Still, if you are crazy enough or brave enough, you can do that as well. Of course, in a manner that you just grab some opportunity when it's not like some official context or something like that. But always don't. I would just want to say to people, don't lose that purpose. Why are you doing that? Why this is important that your superior hears it, even if that's not scheduled in some meeting request or planned or something like that. I was personally in that type of situation, that my personality was working in traditional organization, and I was always playing on the emotional card. Like, I know this is not planned, I know this is not something that is usual for our company. Still, I just have this real urge to speak with you about something. And when you like open to another human being on that level, when they see it, it's important for you. When they can feel that emotion, that something is really, really, really burning, then they just mirror your state and ask you to sit down and express yourself. Is that going to lead you to have your goal done? I don't know. Maybe not. But always have in mind that you tried. You tried, and that's another experience. The one thing that I was playing with that unplanned feedbacks is that I asked them for feedback towards me after my unplanned feedbacks towards them, and it's like it was weird for them, like what's going on now, and then they realize it's really like nice human process. It's not a big thing. Yeah.
Well, this has been a nice human process having these conversations with you, and we really appreciate you coming in and speaking with us.
Thank you.